Okay, I'm back. So let's keep cracking here. So what we did was we attacked with this guy. The only thing we accomplished was making him stronger, but he's at least now revealed. I chose not to close combat with him, which is fine. I want to start getting things off the beach. So I need to check this space, these spaces here, and see if red can hit them. And yes, they can. I'm trying to figure out like a nice way to get up so I can do more damage. And red has a really strong field of fire there. So I don't know if I want to get out from behind this bluff. This bluff is sort of protecting me right now. So, sorry, I'm just thinking. Like I want to get aggressive, but this is moving me into black, which is always a problem. This is moving me into solid red, which can be a problem if this guy fires. What I want to do is I need to get off the beach, right? That's the idea. And so these two just move forward to free this up. So they're done. And then I have these two HW guys. Well, for sure, I'm moving them up. So that way we can get them off the terrace. So now they can actually move more spaces in the future. And this guy has a step loss, but I will move him up and get this one off the beach. Get this one off the beach. This spot here is a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack green. See what we get. It's a close combat. So we don't, it's a 3-to-1. Which is the best possible. We don't need it, so he gets disrupted, which is awesome. So we disrupt him. And of course nothing bad happens to us. But that means now that these green zones are open, right? So we can finally, pour into the green. And so this is a one-step unit. And then this one will go catch back up with him. Because remember, the HQ left him behind. And then we have... is this a stack of doom I forgot to disrupt? Nope, because this is actually a full stack of wonderful units. So we need to get off the terrace terrain because we're stuck moving only one hex when we're on the terrace terrain. So so by moving here, it gets me off of that. But you know what? I'm going to move them over this way. That allows this guy to move up, and then this one will move up like that. So that's the idea. Now I need to be careful because the dots aren't here, so I got to make sure blue isn't somehow. Let me go look. So these spots are all safe. Even here is sort of safe, but brown has this checkered hex. But we can get up against this bluff next to green and actually get all the way to here, okay. And then even here is sort of okay because look, that'll get us one step closer to blue without being in the blue intense fire. That's the idea. We want to work our way across. So these guys can safely move up, but this one's disrupted. And remember, I made it so he can't undisrupt this turn. So I think it was somebody hit him, probably green. So we're going to move him up. And then these two, like if I move here, then brown can actually hit this. So I have to be careful. I mean, you got to eventually go big or go home. This tank can save us from the fire, but this guy's going to attack blue. So let's get that out of the way. This is a mortar, and we have a mortar. So this is a 3-to-1 where we do have the weapons requirement. So this guy is actually destroyed. So that is awesome sauce. All right, so this is now wide open, and I need to check this hex. So here you can see we're not in Brown's field of fire, so that would move us into Brown's field of fire, and then this would move us into Brown's field of fire a second time. So Brown would fire on us, but what we're going to do is we're just going to move with a tank, and the tank, oh, nope, we're disrupted. So I think I want to wait until we're undisrupted. So this unit can move twice. Let me see. So you can see green fires on both spots. Green fires on both spots. So if I move from this yellow hex here, 84, or B4 I mean, to there, that's fine. But if I move again, then green gets to make an infiltration shot at me. So I'm going to move these two heavy weapons right into this spot here. And then the question is do I want to make the run to take that blue? I sort of do, although I do have to confess that since they don't have the letter actions yet, you can sense the terrified in me. I'm terrified about this because if you leave that open, then they just come in and reinforce it. Without the letter actions, it's actually been pretty nice because they don't do that. But like I'm contemplating taking a hit just so I can go in there and take that. That's how crazy it is. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the move, and then I have to do an infiltration check. And so it is a green, and sure enough, they drew a green, and it's a green diamond. And this is a checkered green spot, so I don't have a diamond, so I got lucky. I don't take a hit. It's a when they do the muff shot, it's as if it's the Japanese fire action. It's like they get a free action, right? They get a free Japanese fire at you. So you still have to follow all the rules of whether or not you get hit and all that stuff. The only exception is when you're going into, these. If I'm going into an empty one while he's here, you got to treat this like it's an intense fire dot, even though there is no intense fire dot actually there. So that's the only special rule. Okay, so we have a headquarters and an infantry and a tank. Yeah, let's move all these guys up and then get this guy off the beach. These guys I would like to do something with, but for now they're going to sit tight. And so I will go ahead and get all these off the beach to here. Those guys are disrupted, can't do anything about that. These two I need to get moved, and I don't have to move forward. I can just move to the right, and so then that allows these guys to stop being disrupted for our stacking issue. And I think that's my turn. I'm quite happy with the progress so far. I think at some point I'm going to have to make a break for it and get these two. I think these two, I mean, obviously anybody can hit us and be a problem child, but we have a lot of empty spots, and I think we want to take as much of Sector 2 as we can before the first day is over, because these other spots will start getting reinforced by them, and that's a huge problem. And remember I told you there's that rule that when you get within their field of fire, they actually do a check. This is the only spot that has that issue. Everywhere else, there's been at least one Japanese unit there, so you don't do the check. But here and here are the first two where we would have to do that kind of check. Now, if you get into Sector 1, this one would not do the check, but this one, and this one would. So there's, depending on where you go and whatnot, we can't forget that rule. And it's just a chance, right? If I drew the green, then he'd get reinforced. If I don't draw a green, he doesn't. Okay, so what is next? After we take our turn, there was no close combat, right? None of our disruption markers went away. Yes, one of them did. No, he got disrupted this turn. Never mind. So that system is pretty nice. So I'm going to make sure they're all this side up. Oh, he's got the wrong disruption marker. That's why he's got a problem. So the yellow ones next turn are going to be what goes away. It is a cool system because you do have to keep track of which turn the disruption marker can actually go away. And by making them all the same color now, I know that that's the color that I'm going to be able to remove next turn. So if I disrupt more units the next turn, I can just use the other side to keep track of which one's which. I am having a hard time remembering. There's a lot of units on this board. I think the thing I like about this scenario is I have a lot of units. And, you know, if you think of Palelu or some of these other ones, you have to be, it's really lean in terms of the amount of units you have. So I'm enjoying this. This is good. I'm not going to repeat all my gripes. I just, I'm having fun with this one. Okay, so Japanese artillery doesn't happen until turn 6. Oh, I forgot to do something very important. So before we move to turn 5, if you'll notice, we're supposed to get reinforcements for turn 5. The beaches are empty. So let's do that. If there's a nerd out there that wants to get files uploaded, this reinforcement list would be very nice. I don't like opening the rulebook every time. 226 and 326 are both going into R1. So 226 in red 1 and 326 also in red 1. That's a lot of units over there. Okay, then 224 in yellow 1. Okay. And then a 4th Division tank 1B in yellow 2. See, that's the thing. We got to keep our divisions. Division 4 versus Division 3. I think the Division 4 has mostly been on the right side here. And Division 3 is probably going to be the one that's going to be dealing with Suribachi. Suribachi, however you pronounce that. Rest of the 4th and 5th Division engineers, if any. And then we get 2 points in the 4th Division artillery. So we're finally getting artillery points now. And let's explain how that works. And why don't I have 3rd Division artillery? I feel like I'm missing tokens. I don't have anything for my naval and airstrike. So we actually get artillery now for 4th Division, and we have 2 points. Yes, as you may have guessed, we're going to have to look up the details again. But in a nutshell, every round, we now have 2 points of artillery that we can use to barrage something. And that is not like the naval and airstrike. You don't have to use that at the very start of the turn. You can use that whenever you want. So we can actually barrage something and then close combat it later. So that's the cool thing about these artillery strikes. And this is for 4th Division. So there's going to be some rules, like the artillery has to be, I think it has to support a 4th Division unit. So you have to now pay attention to whether or not it's a 4th Division that's got the radio. They have to have a radio. They have to be, in the HQ command, and they have to, there's a lot of have-tos. And that's what we're going to confirm. And it's every single turn, and it's use it or lose it, right? So every turn you get those 2 points, and if you don't use it, then it's gone. and then the next turn you get 2 more points. And so that's the cool thing about it. Now, what I'm wondering about is that 3rd Division, you can see right here, 3rd Division Artillery gets 5 points. Where is the 3rd Division token? Here's the 5th Division Artillery. And then we have VAC Artillery. Is that the 3rd Division? It just seems weird. Like, I feel like I'm losing or missing components. And you know what? It could actually be in here. I mean, right there's some command range stuff. So is there... Oh, here's like a... This one should be on the board. Oh, I didn't bother putting these on, I guess. So that guy would go right there. Okay, so I'll worry about it. Right there it is, 3rd Division Artillery missions. So now I would be super thrilled if I all of a sudden find airstrike and naval strike tokens. Because that would be the next best thing. I have caves. I have artillery destroyed. I have smoke. Yeah, my hopes aren't real high on this one. Naval strike, airstrike, I don't see them. Okay, but it said that I'm getting all the rest of the engineers for 4th and 5th. So I just got to look for all the engineer tokens, and I see 2 of them for 5th, and I see 1, 2 for 4th. So I don't like it when they say all the rest. I prefer it when they tell me the exact number, because then I know I got it right and I didn't miss something. But so they're all coming out. So 4th and 5th. Division Engineering, and it's going to be on any beach. So 1. Well, we want the 4th Division ones on this side. So I'll put those together like that. And then the 5th, I think I'm going to put them, or I'm sorry, yeah, these are the 5th Division, not the 3rd. The 5th Division, I'm going to put them, nope, I'm going to put them in with all this other muck. Because they're free. They get to go piggyback with the infantry. Okay, so yeah, I'm so happy I found that token for the 3rd Division. So yeah, this VAC, I wonder what that one's for. Okay, I need to figure that out sometime. Okay. Now that ends our turn. We're moving to turn 5. We're only 1 turn away from ending our first day after this. So the Japanese raid phase is a whole brand new thing, and that's going to start kicking in soon. And I did read the rules for it, and again, we're just going to have to sit down and go through it, together when it comes out. It's a pain in the butt. Nothing positive comes out of Japanese raids, only negative, and there's a lot of calculations you have to make, and it's going to be cumbersome. I think if anything, it's going to make the game tiring. I don't really care for it, and I know some people on Board Game Geek even said they don't care for it. I know the designer defended it and said that it's thematic, and I don't disagree with that. It's just sometimes just because it's thematic doesn't mean it's fun. And maybe it's thematic and it needs to be resolved a little simpler. So it's not, if it was just draw a card and resolve an event, I mean, that's not a big deal. But this is, you have to sit down and math out, 30 different things. And so it's not as much fun. I think I would have been okay with having some kind of like just an event that's a raid event, right? But anyways, the nice thing though is once you understand the raiding rules, you're in complete control because the places you get raided are specific calculations, and you can calculate for yourself where you will or won't be raided. So I give it, if you're drawing random events, that's not going to be quite as easy to mitigate. Okay, so enough rambling. Let's go on with the turn. And I don't think I need to shuffle just yet. So we're going to, we got this huge beast here. And let's see what we get. We get an orange circle. And I don't think orange fires on this beach. It does fire on the beach, but orange is taken. So we're okay. We're okay. So unfortunately, though, unless we want to do the big stack of doom thing, I don't think... so we have an HQ. We can give an engineer with the HQ and one more infantry. And then we have 2 infantry, an HQ. So that's the thing, 2 battalions, 2 full battalions were trying to land on the same spot. I mean, that's crazy stuff. I could give them another engineer, but it is actually better to have the engineers separate. Largely because they provide flamethrowers, and that's the nice thing about the engineers. You know what? I don't think we're at a high risk of getting hit, so I'm going to leave them out. Although artillery is coming soon. So now we go to the next one, yellow 1, and we drew there's no drift and a gold diamond. And these guys are all going to get to land. So 2 will land there, and the other 2 will land there, so no issue. Then we go to the next one, and you can see it's a red diamond, no drift. And both of these are going to get to land. Easy peasy. I'll put them on that side. And then we get to the last spot, and it is a red with no drift. And this engineer can join just about anything. So he'll go ahead and just join them. And that wraps up amphibious phase. Now we gotta remember our reinforcements. So GT6 is the heavy weapons 26 unit, and he's going on red 1. So you can see red 1 is actually getting quite busy. So they're just pounding us there. We got to get that beach cleared. 3rd Battalion, 24th is going on to B2. Oh, B2 is bad. Why would you do that? What an awful place to land. There's a black on B2, that's why. So maybe we need to start charging the black. I actually want to, but I just don't. We'll get there. Okay, and then here you can see 3 points of 4th Division artillery. That we have to wait until next turn to do. And then 7 points of 5th Division artillery. So we're going to have to wait until next turn to do those. And then the 2B 4 tank and Y2. So that guy goes in yellow too. And the division thing, or the artillery thing, is interesting because I have to remember to come back and add these next round. I don't like that. I wish I had a marker. I'm going to make a marker. In fact, this one is how much artillery did you use? So I'm going to use these to represent where it's going to be. So 4th Division will move up to 6, and 5th Division is going to have 7. So basically our artillery is landing. That's what that represents. I really like the fact that they abstracted artillery this time. Peleliu really stunk because there was only one artillery in the entire game for the U.S. And I don't know if that's thematic or not, but it just seems like the United States had artillery everywhere. Even when they weren't supposed to have artillery, they did. I mean, artillery was their thing. And Tarawa had 3 units of artillery, but you had to get it through an event. I played 3 games of Peleliu, and I never once got the artillery unit. And then, of course, Omaha Beach, artillery was landing before you even got off the beach. So I think this is a nice way to do it. I mean, you just have artillery, period. Okay, moving on. We are on turn 5, so I'm checking. This is when we can do replacements. And so we can do 7 more, and I'm going to do 7 more. So this is the 5th Division. The 4th Division is actually injured too. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 of them from the 5th Division and 2 of them from the 4th. So we're going to pick 2 units from the 4th and 4 from the 5th. And well, I get to do 8. So I get to do 1 more, and the 5th Division is going to get 1 more. So right now the 5th Division is getting all the love. And maybe that's not a smart move, but I'm going to do it. All right, so we're going to give 2 to 4th Division, and then 1, 2, 3, 5 of them to 5th Division. So let's look at the 4th Division here. I'm looking at these 2 that are injured, and I am going to restore them both. My heavy weapons are fine, so I'm not worried about them. And so I'm going to just get stepped. Okay, so now they both have a single step loss. So we're back up to 3 steps, essentially, is what I just did for them. And this one, of course, is still disrupted. And then I get to do 5 on this side, and I think you know where I'm going with this. The heavy weapons for sure. We're going to repair both of those. And the heavy weapons actually has special rules in this game, so let me make sure I didn't break any. So tank, engineer, and infantry steps. Each step replaces, and an infantry step is used to replace any step that a battalion HQ has lost. You need 2 steps are required to replace a lost heavy weapons company step. See, that's it. So by getting both of those, that's 4 of my 5 points right there. I still think it's worth it. So I'm going to do it. And then I get 1 more, and there's a lot to choose from. The engineer, by the way, uses his own pool. So we're not going to quite do that yet. This one was disrupted, so I'm going to flip it. He might have actually no longer been disrupted. In fact, I don't remember, in fact. So I'm going to just leave it be, and we'll do it like that. Oh, we're probably going to do one of these guys. There's a lot of them have taken damage. So this one, or that one, we'll do this one, and we'll flip him back with a step marker. Boy, that's a lot of units. Okay, now the division artillery, while I have the rule book open, so the next step is going to be the event. We're going to draw an event card. But while I have the rulebook open, I'm going to flip to the division artillery and make sure we understand how that works. So rules state how much artillery is available at the start. Each Marine division has points assigned, and points can be used from the assigned division has a line of sight to the target. So I can use 4th Division artillery to hit anything that a 4th Division unit has line of sight on. And I know I made fun of the line of sight rules, but this is all you have to understand is if they have a fire position on us, we can line of sight them. So if they can see us, we can see them. That's basically, so as long as we look on our little dots, our fire dots, we can resolve that. Oh, that's what the VAC is. That's what the 155s. So that's what the VAC is. So there's going to be 8 extra artillery points that represent core assets. You can never assign more than 3 divisional and 4 core artillery points to the same attack or barrage. You're always allowed to do less. So a divisional artillery can only ever do a 3-point barrage. And then a core artillery can do a 4-point barrage. So that's important. I wish some of this stuff was on a player guide. It really is missing some player guides here. Oh, and then I'm in the close combat. So that's it. So what's interesting is, when does the core artillery become available to us? That's the part I didn't realize, that we get 8 points. So when do those 8 points happen? Let me look to see. So if I look at the reinforcements, I don't see, oh, there it is. There it is, it's right here. See that VAC? Game turn 15 and 18. 4 artillery points on turn 15 and 4 more on 18. That is the core artillery right there. Okay, we're good. We're good in the neighborhood. Okay, so let's draw the event and see what happens. Let's get a good event. We've had nothing but crap so far. Heroism. Okay, so that's better than heroin. Heroism, where are you? Why can't I find you? Oh, come on. So here's the event descriptions. There's heroism. That's a close combat event, right? So you see that there? But there's no heroism here. There's heavy mortar fire. I think he meant to say hero. Add a hero marker to 1 U.S. attack stack an intensive field of fire. Priority according to fire color. Japanese gain 1 depth marker in nearest position. I think that's it. I think that was meant to say hero. All right, so now I'm stuck looking at the rest of the deck to see if there's a hero event. Oh, here's another heroism. There's a Japanese hero one, but not... Yeah, I think this is the hero event, because I'm looking through the deck, and I don't see a hero event anywhere. It's all heroism. So I think it was a typo on the cards. That's, I mean, it's yet another mistake. The game just seems sloppy with these mistakes. But in the grand scheme of things, as long as I know what I'm supposed to do, this is pretty easy to mitigate. The thing is I'm now at a point where I'm saturated with how many exceptions I have to remember. So anyways, it's a hero. We get a hero, and then there's a depth marker, and it's based on these colors. So if somebody's in a red field of fire, a blue, or a green, they're going to become a hero. So what's really awesome is we actually have somebody in the green right here, and those are the heavy weapons guys. All right, so this is another new thing with the game, is there's different types of heroes. So we have to like blindly grab one. And I'm trying, I guess I can put them in a cup or something that's a little bit more, here we go. In the cup, you go. All right, so let's grab one. And what do we get? We get a rifleman. Okay, so riflemen, there's like NCOs, there's all kinds of different ones. So they all do different things. And yes, I'm sorry, we have to look again. But this is a pretty easy lookup. A hero rifleman's company is always in command. So I actually have to go back one page to 11.1. Here we go. If a rifleman or NCO is picked, he's placed with one infantry unit of your choice and stays with that unit until removed from play. Okay, so that's how we place him. And then you can see that an officer hero stacked with an HQ can undisrupt 2 of the battalion's companies at the end of any action phase, regardless of color of the disruption marker. So that's like awesome sauce. If you put an officer with a battalion HQ, I mean, look at that. That's crazy. An officer keeps all units of battalion plus any engineers and tanks stacked with them in command. All units in a hex are in command if an NCO hero is present. A rifleman's company is always in command. So that's what an officer hero does. We don't have an officer hero. We have a rifleman hero. So you can see that there's different types of heroes and they do different things. The officer one is pretty sweet. An NCO or officer hero allows any units stacked to undisrupt in any phase and in any kind of field of fire. This seems like a repeat of the one above. Oh, I see. The one above is if you're combined with a battalion, you can undisrupt 2 of them. This one lets you undisrupt anyone, even if you're next to a undisrupted. Remember, there were certain times you couldn't remove disruption. And an officer allows a moving stack to pick up units as though they began movement together. That's sort of cool. All right, so they all add wild cards, which we don't have to worry about. That's all. I know those rules really well, and they help with close combat. So I am going to put a rifleman on these HW units. So there we go. We got a hero on that HW unit, and unfortunately, though, we now have to add a depth marker, and it has to go here on green. Okay, so now we go to the fire phase. Okay, the fact that there's no green here is huge. That would have been a big problem if we had green here. So let's go through these. We still ignore the letters. The red is actually going to hit a hero, but I think we're fine. And this is where the dots come in, and I know I whined about it, but let's go to gold. These gold spots are coming from him. See, because they're closer to him. They don't come from this gold over here. So Gold is covered. This gold is disrupted. So what we do is we just remove his disruption marker. That's all that happens to him. So nothing happens with gold. And next we have red. And the closest red I see is this one out here. And his field of fire hits the runway, but doesn't hit down here. So we're fine. Red does not hit Jack Diddley. And if you look over here, red only goes to these spots. So we're okay over there. Then next is purple. And I don't think there's a purple well, there's this purple here. So let's look at his zone of fire. He only goes to there, and that's it. There's no other purple within miles. I guess there's this purple, but he only attacks around himself. We had an amazing turn here. They didn't hit or do anything. One single unit got undisrupted, and that was it. So that was a blessing. That's rare. Okay, so Japanese fire phase is over. Now we go to the U.S. attack phase. I'm not using my naval strike. I don't see a need to. This guy requires naval strike, actually. Maybe I should. The other option is I have to close combat him. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'll use the naval strike on this guy, and we're going to try to get rid of that depth marker. And so we drew a diamond, and I need to find my barrage chart. The naval gunfire is a triangle. So we didn't get the diamond. The diamond is artillery. Okay, so what were we barraging? Gold. So we did match the color. Sorry, I lost my thought. We matched the color. So we got the fire color only with a strength 6 naval, and you can see we disrupted them, and we did not remove the depth marker because that's required to remove the depth marker, right? So you know what? This was stupid. Okay, I'm going to retract my turn, and I apologize because I know that drives some of you nuts, but this is stupid. All I have to do is attack the unit and use my naval gunfire, and this thing is already satisfied. That's what I'm doing. I didn't need to barrage it. Barraging it, there was a really strong chance I wasn't going to hit it. I had to have a perfect match. Here's what I'm trying to explain to you. I had to have the symbol and the color. And then I get this little dot here. That's the only way I can get rid of a depth marker. That's stupid. So, so stupid. So what we do is we just attack him, normal. And then as part of the attack, you can use a naval gunfire. Remember, this is for barrage. That's what you have to do at the start of your turn. During a normal attack, you can always have naval gunfire support the attack. So that's what we're going to do. And my apologies there. But that is a superior decision. I just wasn't thinking. So anyways, let's get to our attack or move. And yes, I am going to attack this thing. And so you can see I just need a DE and an NG. He's on airport space. So from a terrain perspective, the airstrip, all Japanese field of fire is intense, and yeah, it's basically a free-for-all. So he's only going to have 4 strength, and in order to destroy him, I would need 12. So here you got 8, and then 6, this is 6 and 14, but we're going over a bluff, and so the bluff. Where are you? It's called a rocky bluff. The bluff hex side. U.S. units have their strength cut in half. All right, so then let's look at this. If he has a revealed depth marker, and I want to destroy him outright, get one Japanese unit defeated and the depth marker eliminated all in one go, I need 3 to 1. So can I get him with 3 to 1? If he has 4 strength, that means I need 12. And this is 14, but it's cut in half, so that means it's only 7. But then these two, I mean, this is 18 cut in half, so 7 and 8 is 15. So yes, I'm going to attack with both of these sets of units on here, and I'm going to use that naval artillery, and then they're both destroyed. That's what I meant by it was so stupid. I could use the same naval artillery to just destroy it and kill the Japanese unit on top. Oh, you know what? The naval artillery is 6 strength. So I had 7 from this, 6 from the naval artillery. I did not need to use these guys. That's what I'm trying to, that's the point I'm trying to get. This was 14 strength, cut in half to 7. The naval artillery added 6 more to 13, and that's the 3 to 1 that I needed to destroy these. So I hope that made sense. All right, so I was able to take it, and then, yeah, I can just move in and do whatever. I mean, obviously, these units are done, but like this unit here, I can just move right in. 1, 2, because I'm no longer in this crappy terrain. Okay, so we took the yellow, and that's awesome. Now, what I want to do is I want to start taking on this black here. And I want to start sending this guy. So 1, 2, 3. I'm just charging him. And yes, he attacks every turn. During that last fire phase, he would have attacked circle. So let's look at circle. Was there a circle here? No. So we survived his attack. And yes, I'm charging in with my HQ unit. And then these two guys... Oh, we only get 2 movement. I'm sorry. We only get 2 movement until turn 7. So these two guys are going to go 1, 2 as well. We're charging across, right? And I'm going to send my heavy weapons and this guy to take on these black fortifications here. Now, I am within 3. I don't do anything with this. He's already fortified as much as he can be. All right, so what else do I do? If I charge him with these other units, you can clearly see he's going to start tearing us apart. The tank comes in handy because the tank can deflect shots and things of that nature. I honestly don't know what the right strategy is to take these things on, but I know that the stars are the key because they're immune to most of the shots. Most of them, mind you. There's some bad luck you can get with this. So then the other option is I got this red guy up here, and what do I do with him? And so I'm going to start charging him, as you can see, with this unit. And I do have to deal with Muff. So I'm looking over at the dots here. I don't have to deal with Muff. This was the first time I was in either of their field of fire. So Muff is fine. Muffy is fine. Okay, if I move any of these units up here, then red is going to mow them down if we draw a red. So there's a part of me that wants to just keep him back until we get this thing revealed. But even after we get it revealed, he could still mow people down. It's just, can I disrupt it and all that other jazz? Also, I need to get people off the beach. So that's a problem. This guy attacked, so I can't move him. I already moved him to here. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to move him to there, knowing full well that they're immune to fire. So that allows me to move these guys up. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get the beach cleared. And then this should be a tank and a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, I leave that guy on there. So I move these ones up, and then that allows me to get somebody off the beach. Now, the thing to bear in mind here is these are just disruption markers that are going away, but they go away at the end of the turn. So it's not like I get to move them off the beach. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this guy off the beach. I mean, why not, right? So he's off. And this one I will move left. And then these two, I think I'm going to move left. And then that allows me to get, actually these two are going to just move in with them. So now we got a nice stack. And then that leaves this wide open for us to dump into. And we have another tank landing, but that's not landed yet. I got to worry about this. So these guys can only move one. These guys can only move one. This guy, however, can move there, no problem. Now we get to this punk, and he needs to be close combated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close combat with this HQ and this other guy. I'm not going to close combat with this one. He's already taken a loss. I don't know what to do with him, though. I'm going to look at my field of fire here. He's safe as long as green doesn't get undisrupted. I have this guy to get off the beach. I can move this one just one space. I'll get this one off the beach. And then I have this big cluster here. And so this guy is a problem. And I'm tempted to just bull rush him. In fact, I can, because I have a star here. I'm just going to go 1, 2, and buckle his shoe. And then I think, I mean, if I bull rush this guy, if I draw a brown, I'm toast. But I'm going to go ahead and do it. So that way we can take him down. Because remember, we're also on a timer. Once day 2 starts, they get to start doing reinforce and all that other stuff. So that means depth markers are going to start going underneath them. They're going to start reinforcing these empty spots. And then they all of a sudden get a whole lot tougher. So being super conservative is not always the best thing. And this game has a pretty cool reinforcement, like where you get new units. So even taking hits sometimes is okay, sometimes. These guys are going to wait for him to undisrupt. These guys, by the way, are the ones that were with that HQ. So we could theoretically move the tank there, and then this guy is just left behind. You know, the rapture just happened. He got left behind. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So I'll move those two up to help. So now, if this guy gets drawn, he's only hitting one of us. This one is in field of fire of like purple, for example. Did I check that last time? He is not in the field of fire of purple. He's in the field of fire of green and brown. So we do need to take out brown. And actually, right now, let's attack the bejesus out of green here with this guy. So these guys are attacking. We cannot close combat. What I could do is just attack with one guy, and then the other guy could do close combat. That might be an idea. It might not be a bad idea at all. So before I make that decision, I'm just going to get these guys off the beach and these guys off the beach. And These two can only move one space. So I'm going to get this guy off the beach. Move him up. And he's, oh yeah, sorry. This guy's okay. So I cleared 2 spots. Too bad I couldn't get him moved, but he's disrupted. Disruption markers are going away. And this one is fine. This one is still violating the stacking limit. Since this one took a step loss, I'm going to let him be the disrupted one. And then these two are free. These disruptions go away. Looking for more stacking limit issues. These are not a stacking limit issue. Over here, I definitely have a stacking limit issue. So I can pick 2 units. And those will be disrupted. And then these 2 units will be the next ones to be a William Wallace and get free. Okay, so what do I want to do about green? The answer to that is a close combat rule that I apologize again, I have to look up. Because here's the deal. When you're calculating how many cards you get, HW counts as 1 step only. So I get 1 card for every 3 steps. Do I round up or round down? So if I only have 1 step, do I at least get 1 card? Or am I going to get 0 cards? That's what I need to look up. I didn't write down the rounding. And this game, by the way, does not round the same direction all the time. I distinctly remember there was a spot where it rounds down and there's another spot where it rounds up. So that makes remembering things even more difficult. But it's just in the close combat section, if I can find the close combat section. And of course, right now I can't. Here we go. U.S. units conducting a CC are only disrupted if the unit received at least 1 step loss during the close combat. Ooh, I did not know that. So we disrupted ourselves last time, and I don't think we needed to. So I'm sorry, there's a rule change there, folks. That's hugely different compared to Pelelu. All right, so here we go. Draw 1 card for every 3 steps. See, it says round down. Heavy weapon companies count as 1 step only. So heavy weapon companies are great for charging in, but they're not good for close combat. So I think what I'm going to do then is, and you know what? I could have even barraged with my tank before I moved. This tank was right here, but you can't barrage and attack in the same turn anyway. So let's just attack this sucker, and we're going to use both of my units to attack it. So we're going to reveal, and you're going to see that we have a close combat requirement. We more than triple his number. Obviously, we don't meet his whatchamacallit. So let's see what happens here. It's a JDX. Well, actually, it becomes a JX because we are at this level, but we don't meet the close combat requirements. So we drop up a level to JX. JX is when Japanese depth marker is eliminated. Oh my gosh. If it's an unrevealed depth marker. Oh. Now, here's something crazy, rules-wise, that if you played the previous D-Day games, this is brand new. When this depth marker gets eliminated like this, if he was one of these situations where there's 2 linked ones, or like this brown here, where there's link. So let's say that we eliminated the depth marker for the brown. It just moves over to there. It really does. It stays in the position group and just moves to the other position within the position group. And so it can be really pesky that way. And as long as it has communication, it will, create issues. So it's under the depth marker section. And the English on this is really bad, by the way. There's some more grammar issues in the rule book. So this is adding depth to Japanese units. Right here, reserve, well no, that's the culling process. Okay, yeah, okay. So if a unit with a revealed depth marker is eliminated and the position is incommunicated, put the marker back in the depth pool. But this is for a case where a unit is eliminated but the depth marker is not. A depth marker may be placed with a Japanese unit that previously lost its depth marker to U.S. attack or barrage. If a unit with a revealed depth marker is eliminated, so the unit is eliminated, and the position is in communication, put the marker back in the Japanese depth pool. That's not saying that the depth marker is eliminated. It's really weird. I don't even know how that scenario is possible. But that rule is there. And okay, let's keep going. I think they were trying to change the rules to this so the depth marker moves around, and it's an extra level of complication now. So this is talking about how the elite unit escapes. So if they withdraw, if there's an adjacent unoccupied Japanese position, they just withdraw to there. But we haven't faced an elite unit yet. Actually, I do applaud the designer for making this. We're facing easy units right now. We're not facing the elite ones yet. So I do appreciate that, because getting hammered right away in a game is not fun, especially when it took me 2 hours to set it up. Okay, I'm not going to belabor this. Every D-Day game we've ever played, the depth marker that gets eliminated gets sent out of the game. But in this case, it's not sent out of the game. It goes to the eliminated unit box. And so we're just going to keep doing that. And it has the potential to come back. Okay, so it was eliminated, but he was not disrupted. That's an interesting one, because it's JX. Yeah. One Japanese depth marker is eliminated, but there's no disruption. So that's an interesting one. And yes, he requires close combat to defeat, so we may have to charge in and do something about it. So my apologies for so many rule lookups, but we're getting it right, and that's the important thing. And if you're trying to learn this game with me, I'm trying to show you where in the rulebook to go, so that way when you're playing your game, it'll be more familiar to you. I really think this can be helpful. I know some people don't like it, and they want me to just be a master of the game and you know, so it does make the video longer, and so I apologize there, but I really think this will be good for instruction and to help people to think through even the things that I'm running into, right? And so you can react and think through the problems. and maybe I'm missing a few things, and this is a great conversation point. So anyways, thank you for watching. Stay awesome, and I will see you soon. On to, where are we at, by the way? We're on turn 5. Yeah, we just finished turn 5 if I can't move any more units. So we're going to be on to turn 6.